Hello everyone, I'm Zishansha and welcome to Zinteractive. Now, as you know how to prepare your shaders and textures, so in this lesson 10 we will see how to apply them on our objects. It's almost like wrapping a plain box with a gift wrap or painting it. So let's dive into lesson 10 and see how it works. Now, as you know how to create materials and how to create shaders, now we will learn how to apply these materials and shaders on our objects. So there are a number of ways to apply them and different techniques. So we will learn all of them one by one. So our first technique will be applying these shaders or material based on faces. Now in front of you, you will see that I have a vintage tape recorder. Now this vintage tape recorder basically is made out of different components combined together. So you can see here in the outline, it is only one object. Okay. So if I will select, all of them will be selected. And if I will go through my tabs here, you will see that a Lambert material is applied on it. So that means if I change the color to whatever I want, it will change the whole thing, which I really don't want. So what I can do here is that I can apply different shaders to different parts. So for that, I have to right click and I have to go to the face mode. Once I'm in the face mode, you can see here, I can apply whatever I want. Okay. So first of all, I want to select these part, okay, and this as well, and I will go over here, this and this, and the back side. From bottom we don't need because it's hollow from the bottom. Okay, I will select this one. Okay, so this is pretty much what I want to select. Now all of these are selected. What I want is that I want to create something like a plasticky sort of material. So the best will be, I think here, if I will choose blend, this will create a plastic look sort of a material here. So as soon as I will apply blend, you will notice that whatever parts or faces were selected, those are only affected. Rest are not affected. Now here I can change to whatever color I want. I can double click here. Maybe I want this brown color. I can change this one, brown or mustard. Okay, I can close this. Now it is applied. Okay, now I can move to the second one. Suppose I want this whole frame. Okay, and I want this whole frame as a black colored frame. So I need to select all of them, or the shortest way to do is that select only the front faces of this frame, of this. Okay. And then there's one more thing I have to do here. Let me undo. Let me check the blend material that we applied, because the color was not applied here. Now the color is applied. Okay, I think it was not applied before. Now I will select this front faces of this frame, and I want to grow the selection. So simple, I will press shift on my keyboard and greater than sign. So it will grow the selection and it will select all the adjacent faces, and I can apply whatever I want. On this one also, I want this to be a bit kind of a plasticky, so I will choose blend again, and as soon as I will choose blend, so it will apply a new blend. Okay, and I can click on the color and make it black. Okay, I can change the name here, so I remember what so I do know what are these. So I will name it plain. This one, okay, is now plain, and now I will select this front part. Okay, I want this to be a little bit kind of a bluish, and I don't want it to be any one of I don't want it to be a blend. So basically what I can do is that maybe I will apply a Lambert material to it, because I don't want anything here fancy, so I will choose only Lambert, and I will choose a bluish color, which is something like this kind of color, I guess, a little bit darkish. Okay, that's all. Now these knobs are basically were created before, and then using combine, they were combined with the body of this tape recorder. So if I double click on these knobs, so it will select the whole knob. The reason is that because they were separately created and then they were combined. So if I will press shift key on my keyboard and then double click on the right knob, it will do the same thing. So it will become easier for me. So all these knobs, I want them to be dark gray. So I will press shift key, select this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then I want them to be Phong material. So I will choose Phong from here, and then I will make it slight darker. And you can notice here it is changing, and here as well it is changing. Now these buttons I will do the same thing. I will double click on this button, shift, double click here, shift, double click here. These are selected. I want them to be Phong as well, but this time I want them to be red color Phong. So I will go back here, choose Phong, and I will change it to red. Here is the red color. Close it. Okay, I think it's not applied. Let me apply from here. Okay, now it's fine. Now all these button other with the shift key I will select, and I will make them a black Phong button. So I will choose Phong here again. This time I will go all the way here, so that they will become blackish. Now I have this part and this part, which is the top part. So I will select both of them, but if I will press shift and greater than sign, so it will start growing it. So I will keep on growing, okay, until the whole thing is selected. So I will not double click it, because if I will double click it here, for example, like this, it will select the whole box. So I will not double click it. I will just select the front part, shift, and then shift greater than sign, so it will select the rest of it. Now I want it to be a little bit metallic sort of thing, brushed metal sort of thing. So what I can do, I can choose a anisotropic material. So as soon as I will click on anisotropic material, you will notice that it is kind of creating an anisotropic highlight here. Let me make it a little bit more darkish and anisotropic, and deselect it, and you can see that as I'm moving around, it have something like a straight highlight, just like a brushed metal sort of thing. So this is nicely how you can create. Now I can double click on these tapes, double shift, double click both of them. I want them to be plasticky, so I will choose maybe this time I will choose Phong E, or I think better I will choose blend, and then I want it to be like an off-white sort of color. So I will go to some like yellow part, and then try to apply this, press done, and here I have. Okay, now I want to apply some material on these screw. So what I can do, I can double click here, shift, double click here, and then I will apply Phong E. I will press Phong E. Let me type here screw. Okay, and I will make it a little bit lighter, something like this. So it will become lighter, this one. Now one thing is that I applied the screw material. Now I forgot that there were two more screws here. Now what I can do is that I can press shift key and select these two. Now instead of applying again Phong E and then turning them into lighter and creating a screw sort of shader, first of all, it will not give me maybe exactly the same thing if I don't remember the settings. Okay, and it will create an extra shader, which I don't really want. So what I can do is that I will select it as I did. I will right click on it, assign existing material, and look for the screw. here is the screw, so I will select the screw and it will apply the same one on it. Okay, now here is the tape. I will select this tape here. I will select with the shift key, I will select this, double click, so both of them I double clicked, so I got the tape here. I will apply maybe Fong material, and this time I will give it a darkish brown film type of thing. So done. Okay, so now you can see I have here the whole thing ready in front of me, as I have applied the each faces its own material. So I can right click over here, go back to my object settings, object mode, sorry, and you can see here clearly how it looks like. It gives it more like a push, okay, a more punch if you have each one of these have a good like color. So this is how nicely you can create a model with shaders and materials, choosing the faces that you want and then applying whatever materials you want. So if the components are joined, easier way to do is that double click on it, it will be hold selected. If you want the next one, press shift and double click. If they are not separately created and combined, they are created out of the existing material, then simple what you need to do is that you have to select that object, okay, that part, that face, press shift key greater than sign to grow or less than sign to shrink. Okay, now suppose if I want to add a material, a shader on this part of my tape recorder, I can do that, but what if that shader or that material is a bitmap file? It's not a shader file like this. So how, let's see, we can do that. First we will select this, then I will right click on it. Okay, I will go to face. I will double click this face because this is the one created separately, and maybe I will apply Fong E on it. Okay, now the Fong E is applied. So what I can do is that I want to apply a texture. So what do we remember from the last lesson? Here we have a color, and in this checker box we can load a file, and that file can be a bitmap file. Okay, so I will click on this checker box, file. Now I'm inside the file. So what I can do at this stage is I will go here in the image name. Okay, so here I have different type of images, and the image which I'm looking for is this one, record player texture. You will have this in the exercise files if you will download them, and I will press open button. Okay, now I did that, but you can see something is applied. Okay, and I can see that because I have the texture on. You have to turn on the texture if you want to see, but issue is it is not right. It is not something like this. The reason is that because the UV is not set. Now what is the UV? UV is the process of applying a map, a bitmap or a texture to your object, okay, and wrap around that object or project on that object. Okay, so that UV is missing over here. Basically it's not missing, but it's not correct. So how to do that? First of all, we need to see is that how is our object? What is the shape of our object? Our shape of the object is like a box. Okay, so if I will double click on this, I have to convert the UV which is applied on it as a box UV. Now to convert that into a planar, we will go in the UV option. If we will go in the UV option, you will see there are a lot of different options over here, but the one that we are interested is the shape option. We do have spherical, like kind of sphericals for the spheres. We have cylinders for the cylinders. We have planar for the plane, but we don't have box. Actually, the planar and the box are used for a same kind of object, something like this, similar to this. So I will choose planar over here. Now as soon as I will click on planar, I will see some change happened here, but still it's not fixed. So if you will go to your attribute editor, you will see there is a polyplanar proj 2 over here, which is basically this thing, this planar thing which I have applied. Now there are three areas that are very important: rotate, projection width, and projection height. Others you can use it, but not at this stage. Maybe if you want to use it some other time, so you can use that, but at this stage these are the three. Simply, most of the time you will use these three. Now this is basically rotation of the plane that you applied. What is this? This is the plane. Okay, so if I will look over here, where it is where is this facing? The plane is facing here. So if I move, you can notice that the image that I want is not here, it is here. The reason is that the plane is facing this direction, 90 degrees facing this direction. So I don't want to face in this direction. I want to place it over this box, this green area box. Okay, so to fix that, first of all, I need to rotate it to a normal direction. So this 90 degrees, which is y-axis, I will turn it into a 0. Now it is facing this direction. Okay, and also it is going around because it wraps around. Okay, as it is a plane. Now I also don't want this. I want it to lay down. So what I will do, I will go to the rotate X and I will type 90. Now I'm getting it over here, which is quite what I wanted actually. But issue is with the size. It is repeating. The reason it is repeating because the size of this plane is small. So here you will see planar width and projection height, projection width and projection height. So if I will increase the projection width, you can see that it is increasing as a width. I will increase it so that I get rid of this repetition over here. I want to increase it more so it reaches to the border, and I will do the same thing with the projection height. Okay, now notice that I was able to done easily in the projection width because I can reach to this area, but if I'm increasing the height, I cannot go beyond 2. Now what shall I do now? Okay, I wish there was more space so I can move. Actually there is space, but it's not showing you. So what you can do is that simply instead of using the slider, I can go in the projection height and I can type a value. Suppose 5. I will type 5 and press enter. Then you will notice that extra space is now after the slider. So basically in Maya, sometimes you will face this, okay, because they don't give you the slider all the way to infinity. They will give you to certain value, but now then it's up to you how much you want, so you can type over here. So pretty much like customizable. So now you can see that I can increase it more, but I think 5 is good, so I will keep it 5. Okay, maybe if you want the same border width here so it will stay balanced, maybe I can increase it a little bit more. Okay, now you can see that I have this shape on my screen very nicely placed. I can right click here, okay, and go back to my object mode. So this is how basically you can apply texture and control with the UV, okay, and you can apply on different components, different faces. Okay, so if you want a different like a face, you can select that face, apply whatever you want. Then if you want to fix it, you can go to UV, select whatever way you want it. Okay, so you can choose that, and then simply you will have the shape on your screen. Let's apply some textures on this chimney of the oven with the same method. So first of all, what I need to do is that I don't want this oven, so I will select this whole thing, Control H, to hide it, and then I will go over here. Now basically this chimney is a single object. Okay, so what I will do, first of all, I will apply a base color on it. So I will use Fong E over here, okay, and make this white or off-white. I will go, I think, to white so that it will match with my oven. Now what I can do is that I will right click, go to faces, and then I will select this face over here and double click on this face, so it will select the whole row. Same thing I will do here, press shift key, select this face, and then keep the shift key pressed and double click on this one, so this row is selected. Now this one I want it to have a black material on it, a black shader on it, as the same font. So I will select the font here and I will turn it to black. So you can see that this is black basically. Now if you don't have this, what easily you can do is that you can add something like a edge loop, okay, and we can take the edge loop, apply one edge here, so we'll have one thinner edge like a face here because we have applied the new one. I can right click, go back to face, select I have to press W to go out of the edge mode, edge loop mode. Now I will select this one, press shift key, double click on this one, this is whole thing selected. I will apply Font E and turn this into black. So this is how you can add edge loops to create faces if you want this kind of like a texturing method. Okay, one thing here I will notice that I have here this thicker one. I will apply a texture on it instead of a flat shade. Okay, so I will select this one, press shift key, double click on this, the whole thing is selected. Now I will apply Font E, but this time I will not change color, I will apply a texture on it like I did before. So I will click here, go to file. Now inside this file, okay, I will go to image name, and here I have a lot of texture, so I will choose this one, hand drawn kitchen thing. I will apply here, and notice that it is not showing on my object. The reason is that first of all I have to turn on my shading mode, okay, and other thing you will notice that the size is not correct. Okay, so what I need to do is that I need to click here again, press shift key, double click here, so the whole thing is selected. Now I will go to the UV, and this time I have to choose between these. I will not choose planar because it is not in a planar form or a box form. It's more than a cylindrical form. So I will select cylindrical. And when I select cylindrical, you will see that it will give me the cylinder. Okay, and then I can sweep. You can say that you can see that it is sweeping across it, like just like we do in the nerves modeling. We have sweep option, so it can sweep, make it bigger or smaller. Then I have projection height. I can make the projection bigger or smaller, so it will not go beyond 2. So what you need to do, you have to manually type the value. Like suppose if I will type 10, I think it's better. I can go more beyond that, but I think somewhere like around 8 is fine. So I have here a clean, nice looking texture, okay, in a cylindrical form. Now you will notice that I have these faces here as well. So I will select these faces, okay, and I will apply something here as a texture. So I will go to Font E. Okay, so I don't want any color, I want a texture on it. So I will click on this texture here, go to file, okay, choose the file that I want. I want to apply this one, digital clock oven. So I will press open, and you will notice that it's not clear because there is no correct UV on it. So I have to make sure it's selected. Then I will go to UV, and this time I will choose planar because it's more like a plane. Once I'm done, you can notice that it's quite rotated, it's not in the right direction. So I don't want this rotation on the Y to be 90 degrees, so I will press 0 on it. Now it's correct, okay, but it's quite small. So what I can do, either I can use these handles here to make them bigger or smaller, like this one, okay, or I can use these two values here, okay. So you can see that I can go beyond that, okay, and from here I can also change it. Now this is what I wanted. Now fine, if I go underneath, I have something like here, this part, so I will apply something here as well. Double click here, okay, and I will apply a foam material on it and make it a little bit darker. Now let's make it a little more dark. Now usually if you will see chimneys, underneath the chimneys these are vents. Vents should have holes. At this point I don't have holes. I have to make boolean and it will take so much time. What else you can do through the materials is that you can apply transparency. Whatever is black will remain and whatever is white will be clipped out, like it will be transparent. So I will go to the transparency here, okay. Suppose like it is black, so the whole thing is showing. If I will make it white, keep on going to the white side, you can see it's becoming transparent. So what I will do, I will click here in this checker icon and I will apply a file over here. If I will apply a file, it will ask me where is the file. I will go in my folder and there is a file here which is like a dot screen. So if you will see, it's like a black and white dot screen. So I will press open, and as soon as I will do that, you will notice that it is applied on the screen. So if I will go outside, basically these black parts is what this is, the like a transparent part. Like suppose if you see this gray color here, so this is this gray color which is showing around. So if I will make it darker, okay, something like this, so you will notice that lighter, so you can see it is becoming white. So but the black part is quite transparent. So if you will notice from here, if I will see, let me do one thing just to make it more clear here. Let me go in the polygonal modeling. Over here I will make a sphere, okay, somewhere down here, okay, and move it quite up here, and I will apply any material like a Lambert here, and I will change its color to blue, okay. Now if I go down and look through these holes, you can see that I'm able to see whatever is outside, okay. Also I can turn on the two shaded lighting so I can see the inside of my chimney also, okay. So you can see from inside the chimney also, okay. So I can see through these holes, and if you don't want this, you can go and change the color of it. Instead of you know, like a white color, I don't want the white color, I want a little darker, so I can make it darker, okay. And then it's up to you whatever color you want. I think this is not the right one. Let me select where it is. Here it is. So if I will make it darker, so you can see clearly, see through, okay. So this is basically how you will get we'll go back to object mode, okay. So you can see clearly, see it is now transparent, and then you can see through it, okay. And this is how you can make different kind of colors like objects here. Now I can go to display, show last hidden, and I can see my oven, and now I'm completely ready. You can see how the textures you know, changes the whole scene when you apply it. So it gives you more realism, and it's quite you know, like a push it gives you whenever you apply any textures or material. So this is one way to do this. Now how to work on the UV tool, okay, on a complete interface of the UV tool. So before this section on the tape recorder, we applied on different components, okay, and we applied the planar and everything from here. We didn't went inside the UV editor, okay. We didn't went inside the tool of the UV editor. Everything we did was outside. So now what we will do, we will see UV editor interface, how it works. So here I have this box. Okay, now this box have 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 6. So this is basically a kind of a box which is basically like a you can say a polygon modeling with 6 faces. So if I will go in the UV, I will see UV editor. Now this UV editor helps you to apply a texture on a single object using a customized or built-in UV folding options. Okay, so before what we did, we applied on single faces. Okay, we selected our own faces and then we applied. But what if you don't want to do that, because it takes a lot of time to do that? What if we want to apply on the whole object itself? So it will save time also, and it will also save space on your computer and your memory also. So now this is, as it is selected, I will go to UV editor. As soon I will go there, you can see that this polygonal model, this polygon like a surface of the box is already you can say unfolded. Okay, so by default it is unfolded, and you can see very clear like a kind of clear view here. Clearly it can show like these are the 6 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here are these faces. Now on your right side you will see the toolkit. Okay, in the toolkit you will see how you can select and a quicker way to do things, just like the modeling toolkit you have. Otherwise all the other options you can find here as well. Now suppose I want to select each one of these faces. If I can select the face here, I can simply select the face here, 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 or shift. But as I am selecting, let me move it down. This is mirroring also over here. So suppose if I click here, okay, I can like do that. Either here or here. So if I select this one, notice this one is selected here. That means this is the one which I'm selecting right now. This is this. This is this. Okay, if I rotate, so this is this one. This is this one. Okay, and this is how they are like connected to each other. Okay, now this is how you will select faces. Other than the faces, you have here edges and also vertices. So if I will go to edges, okay, and suppose if I select any one of these edges, so you will notice that not only one edge is selecting, the other edge is also selecting. Okay, why? Because if I select this edge, it will show you that this edge and this edge are connected, just like here. This part and this part, you can see it is coming from here, and it is connecting basically. Okay, so this part and this part are connected between this, so that's what is showing. From here to here it is connected this. So while working you have to be careful about that. Simple other thing is here we have this you can say the vertices. So if I select, you can see here these are the vertices here. I can select these vertices. So basically vertices, why do we use vertices here? To move around, and also to see that which part is connected to which part. So if I will select this vertex, you can see both of them are green. So that means this is the vertex which is connected from here to here. So this is quite handy if you want to know what are these kind of tools here. Okay. So let me zoom, let me minimize these for a moment. I will right click here and go to object mode, and then I will go to Lambert. Now once I will go to Lambert, what I will do here is that I will apply a file here. I will click on the color, go to file, okay, choose the file. Where is the file? Here I have this, which is like a carton, empty carton, you can see that. Okay, I can open it, and pretty much you can see this is the way how our model is basically. Okay, so I will press open. Okay, it's not showing, I have to turn that on. So quite good, I have here already everything. Okay, but you will notice how things are not perfectly sitting or aligned. You can see that this is going upward where it should be here. This is missing some part. Okay, this should be in the middle. So this is where the UV editor comes in. This is how you fix the like these UVs. So now I hope you have understood what are the UVs. These faces becomes UVs when you're applying the map on it. Okay, these become faces when you're doing polygonal modeling, but this becomes UVs when you're applying textures. Okay, so names changes. Okay, I will maximize these. Now I cannot see that because it is not selected, so I have to select here, and now I can see. Okay, so I can pretty much take these. Okay, objects, these components. Like suppose I will take this one, edges, select these edges. Okay, and with the help of a moving tool, okay, I can move them around. I can select this one, this one, this one, but notice how what happens if I select this one, this gets selected too, because they are connected. So it's not ideal to select from here. What you can do is that these are basic polygonal faces. These are the UVs faces. Okay, this is the shell. What is a shell? Basically, if I select this, the whole thing is a shell. Remember in the last part when we were working on the retro tape recorder, those knobs were shells. Each node was knob was shell. Here, if I select shell and click here, it's not selecting one face, it's selecting the whole thing. That means the whole thing is a shell. Okay, in the retro tape recorder, all the knobs and buttons and everything were shells. So if I were suppose if I have selected the shell and selected the knob, I would be able to select a single knob. Okay, so I hope you understood about the shell, what it is. The whole thing is a shell. These are the sides of my UVs. Okay, so these are basically these corners. So I can select these corners. Okay, and I can freely move them around. Okay, which I cannot do from here, because what it do is that it gives me two-sided, because it it selects this one, suppose, and whatever is attached to it. Maybe it will select this and this together. So I will not be able to move where I want, because it will be not selecting one, it will be selecting the whole of it. Now simple, what I need to do is that I have to match these corner points, these edges, to my drawing. That's all, and automatically it will be fixed over here. Just see how it looks like now, and see how it will look in the end. Okay, so if I will zoom out, okay, and make this a little bit smaller, let me zoom in, and I can use same keys to zoom in and zoom out, what I use in the viewport. Okay, so basically this is also a viewport. You cannot just orbit, or other things you can do. So this is fine. Now I will take these top ones and I can move them up, and see as when I'm moving, these are how they are interactively changing. Okay, we got this. Now if you will notice that this fragile, okay, F is not showing, because if you can see here, the F is outside the UV. So if I will take this part and push it, it will start coming inside that UV. So I will go till here. Now you can see it's perfectly fine. I will do the same thing here on this side and move it here. Other thing you will notice that the same thing that was happening to fragile, it's happening to the sticker. You can see that here as well. So what I can do is I can select these whole part and I will move them and see how they are interactively moving. Okay, one thing is that this was not selected, so I have to undo it, zoom out and select this whole thing. Otherwise it will be not right. It have to be because it's a straight object, so my selection have to be straight as well. So now it is moving fine. And just see, because I'm moving here, so this is also affecting, which is fine. Okay, I will select these, I will move to this side. Perfect. And now here you will notice this is not right. I will move it down. Okay, now this one, you can see that this is maybe if I zoom a little bit here, you can see this is a different texture, this is a different texture. That means they are separate objects. So I have to take this one from here and move it up till it reaches to the separation. Okay, so it is somewhere here, that's all. Okay, and similarly here you can see that this is a different, this is a different, so you can see a different texture here. So what I can do here, I can select this one, move it down till I get to the separation. Okay, now I'm done. Right click here, object mode, close this and close this, and now you can see a perfect carton over here. All right, everything is going as I wanted. Top part, left side, right side, bottom, everything is good. Okay, so this is how actually your UV editor helps you around. This was a very simple one, so we were able to do it very nicely and easily. Okay, so this is the end of part A, and next lesson we will move to part B, and we will learn how we can apply the textures using a complex model and UV editor. So this was simple, but next lesson we will move to a very much different object, which is basically a kind of a complex object. Okay, but before doing the complex object, we will see also how to apply a UV map on a NURB plane, and we will see how we can do a 3D painting. Okay, so see you guys in the next lesson, part B. So please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click on the bell icon. Keep sharing this channel, and I hope all of you are getting help and understanding how the Maya works. Okay, and I hope you are kind of benefiting yourself, and keep on sharing so others can like benefit also, because all these complete tutorials, these courses are for free and you don't have to pay a single dime for it, and a lot of different other bonuses, video webinars, complete courses, crash courses will be coming up soon, all for free on this channel. So please grow this community and keep on sharing this so that other can also take advantage of this channel. Okay guys, see you in the part B of this tutorial.